that place is just unbelievable. The amount of energy it produces, the speed it carries. I mean, you have to give like the utmost respect just because of the risk at hand. In that barrel, you feel part of that wave. You feel like, God, liquid thunder.
There's going to be some fun action out there today.
I've never ever seen or even surfed a place that is comparable to what Ke'ahi is or Jaws. That place is just unbelievable.
You think it's a small wave, but then when you look at the pictures, then you realize what you're dealing with.
The second or the third or the fourth wave is most likely the one that's going to kill you.
Yeah.
It's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. I looked over my shoulder to the left and I saw these places that I just prayed to God I never had to be.
Look at this square thing. It's like a Hawaii 5-0 wave, but you know, 2 cars could have fit inside of it.
Difference in brakes, no matter where you go in the road, be it pipeline, which is a shallow shelf, a lot of dead coral, super shallow wave with a lot of volume of water traveling at such great speed, and then Waimea, deep water and a lot of volume of ocean following and stuff too. There's in every place that you go to, there's different dangers with a lot of similarity in the brakes, but I've never ever seen or even surfed a place that is comparable to what Ke'ahi is or Jaws. The way I look at it, you would either die a horrific death or suffer an extreme injury.
The amount of power that gets expended out there is incredible. I mean, Waimea, the pipeline, all the other spots, there's a lot of energy, but something about the way the energy comes together out here is just, it's the most terrifying thing I've ever seen.
And you could really get yourself into a hell of a lot of trouble out there if you're not really prepared to pay for the consequences if you make a mistake.
Hard to explain or compare to anyone what you've been involved in, or how close you came to this monstrous beast. In that barrel, you feel part of that wave. You feel like, God, liquid thunder.
Here we are at Maliko Gulch. Victor Lopez, you just came in from a tow session out at Piahi. How was it out there today?
Oh, it was just incredible. Buzz and I had probably one of the best days all winter. It was neat. There's no one around. It was, well, take your pick.
I towed you into a couple today, and I just saw it from behind, and it just tubed all the way across. I was like, oh my God, I just hope he made that. What were you thinking?
Oh my God, I just hope I make it. You took the words right out of my mouth.
The forecast for the channels between the islands for this afternoon and tonight. East winds 30 to 35 knots, seas 18 to 22 feet.
With the big channel, you have pretty easy way to get out. Once you're on the wave, you gotta make sure you know what you're doing, because if you wipe at the peak, you could be swallowing a bit of water.
It's a rush. It's nothing like it.
You think it's a small wave, but then when you look at the pictures, then you realize what you're dealing with. Yeah, man.
Got to be prepared. You've got to have the right equipment, you've got to have the right boats, you've got to have reliable boats, you've got to have the skis for rescue. Like if you go out there and you're sailing, you can't just have the boats moored in the channel, because if someone loses it and gets axed and they're like blue and they can't get up, you know, you need a ski to run in there and get them. And then you need people who know what they're doing on the ski. They've got to have, you know, preparation that if, you know, someone comes up and they're not breathing, which is a really, it could happen, you know. Then you got to know, you know, mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on the back of the ski and all this sort of stuff. And this is the type of stuff that we've prepared for. We've got sleds on the back of the ski. We've actually got oxygen bottles and all that sort of stuff as well. So, you know, it's real easy. It looks easy just to go up there and do it, and anyone can really, but it's also real easy to get in trouble. So we're just trying to be prepared, so if someone does get in trouble, we're ready for it.
Oh, bad wipeouts. We've seen many. We've seen guys lose their entire jet skis. There have been guys that have been held under for extended periods of time where we've almost thought we're going to lose them, only just to see their heads pop up, gasping for air, and then being rescued in the nick of time.
Yeah, this is definitely not for the lighthearted. Whoa, Ralph.
biggest waves I've ever seen in my life. I grew up in Hawaii and have been around waves all my life, and those were the biggest I've ever seen. And the launch was really hard that day. Maliko had surges going all the way back to underneath the bridge, so it was really kind of chancing it, but it's so far to go from Kahului that we all decided to go for it anyway.
Yeah, I guess it was the biggest day, and at that time the surge came, and it was the biggest wave I've ever seen inside Maliko. Maybe it was like 8 feet, closing up inside, and we weren't expecting to double up inside, and just nailed us. We got washed up under the bridge, caught in the trees, and that was a pretty big mess.
If you would actually measure the height of these waves, we're dropping down surf 50, 100-foot faces, you know, just dropping out from you. It's like a 10-story building. You just kind of jumping off from the top and hoping that you survive.
I first saw these videos of people surfing it, and I always thought, what are these guys doing on the shoulder? Look at that barrel. Then I went there, I found out that wave is the most gnarliest, dangerous, strongest, heaviest wave I've ever experienced. And no matter how far out on the shoulder you are, it still has a chance of eating you, and you could just feel it trying to eat you from behind.